today I didn't really want to. I was trying not to go into the topic of this whole thing with Israel or whatever, and I wasn't really trying to go in the topic of Israel because I try to stay away from this topic if I could. But how can you stay away from this topic? Because it's a topic that really affects us all. It's the story of Israel and the Gaza Strip. A story that is old as time itself. And so we'll get into this story because this story is very important to a lot of people. And so I'm going to CNN this morning, and I normally go to Al Jazeera to kind of balance out the news and the press for what's going on over in Israel. A lot of deaths, a lot of people dying, a lot of people, a lot of children, a lot of women and children. And the last time I checked, I thought in war that women and children were off limits. There's no such thing as a perfect war, but I thought women and children were off limits. But as you guys know, war is hell. And my condolences go out to all the people and the citizens in Israel and the citizens of Gaza. Now, one thing I'm going to say about all of this is that there's a lot of hatred in the world, and there's a lot of prejudice in the world. There's a lot of people in government who get to the top who do not want to share. And that's the problem with the world today is that people don't want to share. People don't want to share territory. They don't want to share land. And as far as me being a black American Negro, BAN, and everybody uses the acronym nowadays, black Americans have their own struggle and fight. Everybody's asking us what we're going to do and how we feel about the whole thing. But to be honest, we have our own fight that we're facing, not to become extinct in America. You got the replacement with so many people coming across our U.S. border. And so everyone comes up to black Americans asking us what we feel about the war, how we feel about the war. And honestly, if you're not a black American, I know a lot of you can't distinguish who is black American, who is not, but I would say to you, please don't ask black Americans about what they feel about the war because in this plight of a country that we're fortunate to be in, that we were here long before so many other people, long before a lot of European and a lot of us indigenous to this country. Have no African in our family at all when you place the African American on us. But that's a whole another show. I will say that it's something that we have empathy for, those people dying, all the children and women and so on and so forth, the people who died in the festival. But this is something that's probably what 1,500 years, we'll say, old battle, and it's nothing that nobody can really do about this because the Israel is empowered. Now, let me get into being an ex-army vet. Let me get into guys and tell you the real reason why the U.S. and the U.S. and the British, who were never, in my opinion, separated. Because we so-called got our independence, we were never separated, but they want to make you believe that England is separated from America. It's not. It's really not. To be honest with you guys, they work together hand in hand, like brother and sister, or mother and daughter, or father and son. Being British, the British UK is the adult parent. There was never really a separation of the UK and United Kingdom, the British, and America. It's all a false flag, a false thing to make you believe that they're two separate environments. But last night, Yemen took the liberty of shooting some missiles towards Israel. And there are U.S. Navy aircraft carriers out there in the ocean, right? And so the United States decided to engage to save Israel. And I'm going to get back to why they decided to save Israel from those missiles coming towards them. Well, when you engage and shoot down missiles from a country, not a organization, I'm gonna skip the word terrorism because terrorism is like beauty; it's not a beholder. When you actually decide to engage a country, not individuals or organization, when you engage, you are now at war. When you engage a country, you are now at war. Okay, so I'm gonna make this quick. The reason why America and the British made Israel into a state is because America and the British have a they have kind of a situation where they needed a place to have nuclear arsenal and weapons and supply, giving them $4 billion a year. That's why America gives so much money to Israel. They give money to Israel for protection purpose, to be able to line up Israel with all the weapons that they can line Israel up with, so that we could defend the UK from the Middle East. Again, the real reason why America gives $4 billion a year and the UK never shows itself coming out of pocket, because that would be too obvious, is that they use that money to protect Israel by way of protecting England, a little small island. Yes, England is an island. Well, you have other countries like Switzerland and the northern Euro countries up north that stay neutral and stayed neutral in World War II, stayed neutral in every war, European countries, Norway, and all these countries that stayed neutral. Well, America couldn't have Britain be neutral. They had to have weapons so that if there was ever imminent danger towards Great Britain, where the king and the queen are, then they would be able to protect themselves. This is the real reason why they made Israel into a state. If you're looking at the biblical and the Torah, it tells you there shall be no state of Israel until the Messiah returns. And true Orthodox Hebrew or Jews know this, that there is not supposed to be a state of Israel until the return of the Messiah. But no, America and Great Britain, two countries that don't really follow any religious context, who follow the context of money more than anything. And I'm not on I hate America. I'm just being honest. America is about capitalism, and Great Britain is more conservative, but it's a capitalist place too. So don't ever get it twisted. It's always about money. But to be honest, guys, that's why America wants to give arms to those people. America didn't care about them in World War II. They didn't care about the Jews in World War II. America funded the Nazis regime. They funded Adolf Hitler, J.P. Morgan Chase, all of the banks, Bank of America, all of the early banks. Hey, you could go look this up. They all were a part of funding, just like a lot of the institutions that funded slavery, and all of the insurance companies and the railroad companies that funded slavery ventures, capitalism that made America what it is today, offer free labor from black Americans. Well, the same thing here goes out. A lot of the funding for the Nazi regime was from America, and that's why America has such an affinity with making Nazi films and movies, and why we have so many neo-Nazis inside of America is because American Eurocentric, the dominant society, has an affinity for Nazis. They have affinity for Hitler. They have affinity for nationalism. That's why you have Proud Boys and all these groups that come out. They have an affinity for nationalism. It's the truth. White supremacy is what the country was built on. And so when you look at people with dark skin in the world, melanated skin, who are not Eurocentric enough, you have what's called an ethnic cleansing. And that's what you see going on with Israel being backed by the United States and the UK and the European alliances. Ethnic cleansing. And Islamic people, in most cases, are Arabs. Now, if you ever notice, America will go all the way in for war when it's time to fight, They won't fight China. We won't fight, and I'm a veteran. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I'm not ashamed to say it. Most veterans will tell you they won't take a formidable opponent like China or Russia on. They'll talk smack, but that's it. But when it comes down to getting busy, nah, they go find the Irans, the Iraq, the Afghanistan, countries that may have oil money, but the Saudi royal princes don't want to back them and arm those countries because they want to sell oil. So America knows that. America knows that the Saudi countries want to sell oil. They want to get that oil off. Without us consuming oil in America, the UK, and the European countries, the oil is worthless. And then you won't have these Saudi royal family being worth gazillions of dollars. I'm just putting it all in context for you. Putting it all in context. So at the end of the day, you kind of get an understanding of why the USA and Great Britain empowered in history after World War II to make it a state of Israel. America's hands were dirty and bloody. Adolf Hitler in history, if you read Mein Kampf, his biography, Adolf Hitler actually asked European countries to take the Jews. And guess what? Nobody wanted to take the Jews. Jews have not had a home in thousands of years since Christ. But nobody wanted to take the Jews, guys. No European country wanted to take the Jews. 1939, look it up. Madison Square Garden. America hosts the biggest Nazi funding event in history. Without America funding the Nazis and nationalism of Germany, Hitler would have not been able to do any of what he did. So white America funded Adolf Hitler early on, was sending checks over there. And so the reason why they helped to create that state is not only just to weaponize and arm the Jews so they can be able to arm themselves, get 2 or 3 things out of it, but they feel like they owe them because America wasn't going to get into World War II. It didn't want to go against any type of Eurocentric opponent. It still holds true today. And matter of fact, America do anything not to fight against Russia. They say what they want about Russia, but they don't want to fight a Eurocentric country. They'll do anything they can not to fight against a Eurocentric country. It still holds true today. So, at the end of the day, what you've learned today is thinking for yourself, thinking out of the box, and not what the media of the world feeds you. Get some balanced media in your life. This is Troy T for Power Players Magazine, and I hope you enjoyed the commentary. We are engaged in a war now with Islamic countries, especially Yemen. They can say what they want to say, but once you shoot down the missiles of another country, you are engaged in actual war. So, with that being said, pray, do whatever it is you have to do, meditate, but just know that we're in it, and I don't know we're in it to win it. This is Troy T, a.k.a. Dirty Rice, Power Players Magazine. Spread love. I hope you guys have a good day. God bless. And it's Friday. Peace out.